My name is Mathafican Kotstacks. So I got a story about this limp dick nigga named J-Rock. I've never heard of J-Rock or any of his music, but I heard he's big in California. But anyways, he hit me up on Twitter, and we agreed to meet up this weekend during my trip to LA for business. My plane was supposed to arrive at 6 p.m., so I called one of my best friends Lyric to meet me at the airport, and she brought a girlfriend Monet. Since it's my first time in LA, I wanted to have fun, so I sneaked out from my manager and called up J-Rock to pick us up, so he sent his light-skinned friend Emick in a gray Range Rover to come get us from the airport. I asked him to buy us a Hennessy bottle on the way. He was cute. But anyways, we arrived to Carson Tecum House Complex and went in. The house was mad dirty with red carpet and a red sofa. Are they Bloods or something? Lol. J-Rock wasn't nowhere in sight, so I called him, and he claimed he was in the studio across the street with Dr. Drive, and that he will be out soon. Well, soon turned into almost 2 hours and the Hennessy already had me tipsy. I started feeling freaky, and making out with Lyric and Money, and sitting on Emick's lap flirting with him. The Hennessy was soon gone, and I wanted more, so I got pissed off, and called J-Rock telling him I was leaving. As soon as I walked out the door there was 4 other guys, and he pulled me by the arm, and said I'm J-Rock. I stared at him up and down. He was tall, black as hell and skinny. You ain't J-Rock, WTF, prove it, call me right now. So he showed me his phone and I went through it, and find my name and number in his phone book. We spoke for a little, but with the Hennessy in my system I wanted to do more than just conversate, so I dragged him by the arm upstairs to the nearest room, and pushed him on the bed. I was a savage, took his shirt off and pants, I raped his lips, and tongued down his slim body, until I reached his hard dick. He wasn't packing much, it was under average, so I needed more excitement, so I went downstairs, and got Monet, since Lyric was on her period, lol. So I brought her up, but she refused to have a threesome with somebody she wasn't attracted to, so I sexed her instead. I sucked on her nipples as I played with her wet pussy, and J-Rock put his dick inside me, and started beating it hard from the back. Fuck her harder, Monet yelled. He stroked me deeper, but his dick wasn't big enough to make me feel any pain, but to make him feel special I screamed his name, and faked the screams. Smack her ass, Monet ordered, so he smacked me twice real hard. I tongued down her stomach, and by the time I reached down her pussy I licked off the sticky puddle overflowing between her legs. J-Rock pulled out, and tried to fuck Monet, but she wasn't having it. She started screaming no, and jumped her naked ass of the bed, and sat on the counter. I wanna watch you fuck her, she demanded. So J-Rock put my long legs on his shoulder, and started slow stroking me while kissing me. As he licked on my neck I turned my head to watch what Monet was doing, and she was fingering herself. It turned me on even more, so I pulled J-Rock body closer to me, and felt his sweat drip down my breasts. This went on for like an hour. After Monet made herself come she left the room, and I was getting bored with his sex game. He was taking so long to come, so I asked him if he fucked another bitch earlier, and he answered yes. Oh, so that's why ya bitch ass was taking so long to come see me? I asked with an attitude. Get off me, I yelled with anger. He did in a couple of more strokes and pulled out. He started kissing me again, and started finger popping me. You wanna be my baby mama? He asked me as I moaned. His finger was actually giving me more pleasure than his dick ever did all night. He flipped my body to the side, and was hitting my spot. The more I kept screaming, the deeper and harder he would stroke as he squeezed my breasts. The bedroom felt like if I was in a sauna. When he was about to come he took the condom off, and stood up, so I got on my knees, and started doing tricks with my lips and tongue on his dick. He was moaning more than Monet was, when I was eating her out. He loved it. When I deep-throated, it drove him wild and his legs would start shaking. He pushed my mouth away, and came all over my face as I licked it off the tip of the head. Whoa, that's the best head I've ever had, he said smiling. I got my naked ass up, and went to the bathroom, and washed my face with soap. My hair looked like an afro. I put my clothes back on again, and went in my luggage and flat ironed my hair, and told Lyric to redo my makeup. While I was in the bathroom J-Rock came in, and started feeling all over me again, and said you got the best head ever. Superhead ain't got shit on you, and I'm not J-Rock. I gave him a blank stare. What the fuck you mean you're not J-Rock? I looked deep in his eyes and he looked just like pictures on the internet. I'm not J-Rock, I'm his friend. So one of his roommates that was in the other room said that's really not J-Rock, they just call him that too. I'm on the phone with him, he said with a smirk on his face. Let me speak to J-Rock, I demanded, but my request was denied as I tried to snatch the phone out his hand. I was very pissed at this point, and didn't know what to think or say, so I just flipped. I started cursing at everybody, and went to look for my bag to leave, so as I went psycho they videotaped me, but I didn't care. I even tried to walk off by myself to hike for a ride back to my hotel room, but Lyric and Monet talked me out of it, and we went back in the house. J-Rock was gone by then, so I called his cell phone and he claimed he was at the studio the whole time, and so I cursed him out. I felt played and set up. I felt embarrassed and hurt. A couple of tears from anger rolled down my brown eyes, and then I passed out on the sofa until one of his crazy roommates walked in the house asking why. Is it so dark in here? As soon as I opened my eyes I remembered what happened earlier, and wanted nothing more but to leave the state and give up on everything. So I went on my phone and wrote on Twitter what happened without realizing Lyric's username was still logged in. And that's when the Twitter war started, and J-Rock was making fun of me with Angela Yee, and claiming I fucked his friend Emick instead of him. I had no proof to deny otherwise, and when I clicked on his friend Twitter page the pic was black and white, so I couldn't really tell. His friend offered to take us home, so on the way I kept arguing back and forth on Twitter, but I couldn't stay at Monet's mom house and my manager was mad at me, so I called J-Rock and apologized and asked if I could stay at the house until I get a plane ticket, and to my surprise he said yes. When I got to the house I erased all my tweets and wait quietly feeling hurt, so I called him again asking him why did he do that to me, and explained his side of the story blah blah. He also said I was now part of his team, and that he wanted me take care of his friend, so I told him I wasn't doing it unless he pays me, or comes speak to me face to face. But he didn't, but still one of his friends came over and tried to get some, but I denied him. 10 minutes later he got the hint and left me alone. After that J-Rock wasn't answering my texts or calls, so I was still hurt, and clicked on his friend at @AMACK_TDE profile and read down his timeline of him roasting me. Then I clicked on his URL link which was Twitvids. Then I realized the guy in the videos was the same light-skinned guy who picked us up from the airport. Prisoner of war. So he used his friend to cover up his actions? Lol. That's where he fucked up. He actually had me fooled, until I realized he told people on Twitter I fucked Emick. I was cracking up at this situation. So the answer is I fucked J-Rock.